everyone. This is the fourth day of my vlog. Today I'm just gonna talk about the way I spent my day today. So the morning I woke up and I went to the gym and I did some abs exercise, and then I did like a 10-minute meditation. I sat on a meditation, no, not really a meditation mat, but more like a yoga mat, and I had like a yoga break, and after that I had my lunch. I got like a poke bowl. I really like poke bowl with mixed salad and some teriyaki salmon, and then Hawaiian chicken. The Hawaiian chicken I didn't have too much in the past, so it was pretty good. Then I had mango, cucumber, fish roll, also a seaweed salad. So it was pretty healthy. I think healthier compared to most of the Chinese restaurants. Not that they are not good. They're also good. They're healthy in many ways, but a lot of the time the Chinese restaurants put too much oil and salt in the dishes. So I try not to eat too much of those recently because I'm trying to lose some weight and get into better shape. Anyway, still tonight I had a Chinese Sichuan style kind of dish. It's called double cooked pork. It's like one of my favorite dishes. My father used to make great double cooked pork, and it's like pork with green pepper and sometimes even like dried tofu in it. Anyway, so I had lunch, then I went to a library around me, and in the library I basically did some coding, I did some thinking and some reading, and after that I decided to go for a short run. Not exactly a short run. Eventually I ran for like 5 kilometers, and I saw some very beautiful scenery by the Hudson River. The sun was kind of falling into the darkness, and I think it's the most beautiful moment in a day. So it's around sunset. You see the sky gets dark, some kind of warm color in the sky, and everything is quiet. And after the run I came back and I had dinner. Then I started working on like my travel plan for Europe toward the end of the year. In the meantime, I was watching a TV series called Scandal. It's a very, very old, not that old, but at least not recent years. It's been quite a few years. And Scandal, basically it tells a story where Olivia Pope, who is like the heroine of the TV series, so she fixes problems for many rich and powerful people with all the tools and connections that she has. After that, I basically watched the TV series in the meantime as I figure out what kind of flight I'm gonna take, what kind of hotel or Airbnb I'm gonna stay in, just trying to finalize the schedule and how everything will play out. And now I'm here talking about my day. Um, Maybe one specific topic that I wanted to talk about was how to overcome certain setbacks in your life. The reason why I want to talk about this is that recently I'm also encountering some of the setbacks in my life. Um, I wouldn't call them like major setbacks, but still, it hurts in some sense. And it just reminds me of how I got through previous setbacks in my life. I remember in the second half of 2023, it was a very, very difficult time for me. I wasn't very happy in my previous job, and every day felt like just, I mean, I wouldn't call it painful, but it's like you kind of have to, every day you kind of need to gather some courage, gather some patience to walk into the office. And you kind of have to figure out what's going on. And sometimes the job is just hard to deal with, and you have to really focus on things and break down the hard tasks into easy to manage small tasks. And I think around that time, I started to develop a gratitude of whatever I have. And I also started to understand more of my personal way of doing many things. I realized that during my school years, I was quite lucky to have a kind of positive feedback loop for most of my school time. I was like one of the top students, and everything worked fine for me. I didn't really struggle a lot in any of the subjects. So I think back then when I was a student, I kind of took that smoothness of life for granted. It just seemed to me that everything was easy. But then in your career, sometimes it's just not that easy. You see difficulties, you run into issues, and none of those issues are that easy to get through. Um, and I realize how much I value myself towards the accomplishments that I have. Back in the school days, that's fine because I'm easily getting those accomplishments. But in the job, if you're not getting a very strong or good feedback, then it's kind of tough for you. And by the time I kind of understand that, I start to think back on the school days, and I start to think back on the classmates who didn't really do very well in the schoolwork. And I suddenly start to understand like their perspective. So for them, schoolwork was not easy. They might have struggled a lot with the courses that I felt was very simple. But I also think they actually got more training in terms of resilience and overcoming hardships than me. Although I already consider myself a pretty resilient person, I think that experience taught me how I took many, many things in for granted. And I think eventually how you overcome setbacks is like maybe first of all you have to just have confidence in a lot of things. Like um, you don't know how things will play out, but you should have the confidence that whatever comes your way, you're gonna deal with it and you're gonna kind of figure it out. That's one thing. Another thing I think is really about being flexible. I just realized a lot of the time when we are faced with a challenge, we typically kind of assume that things will have to work in a certain way. We want things to go as we wish, but a lot of the time they just don't. It's sad, but they just don't. And I just realized that you will need to really, really be flexible and just accept whatever comes your way. Speaking of which, I just remember there's like a TV series which is kind of made from a very famous PS game. It's called The Last of Us. And in a particular episode, there was a situation where the hero and the girl, they kind of they drove a very luxury car. They spent a lot of effort to get the car ready to drive. They had to figure out where to get the gas, and they have to fix all the bugs in the car. And it maybe took them, I don't know, like 2 weeks to get the car ready to drive. And then they drove the car to a different city. I mean, in the setup of the TV series, it's like zombies biting everybody on the streets, right? So it wasn't like a normal society kind of setup. So they drove this very, very precious car that they took a lot of effort to get, and suddenly they ran into a city, and then they got surrounded by a bunch of guys who's trying to take their lives, and the car just suddenly became a burden to them. And I guess within maybe 10 seconds, they just decided to drop the car and figure out another way to, you know, uh, they just have to move on. For me, when I was watching the series, at that scene, I was like very, very frustrated. I just very much hold on to the car itself. I just had the memories that, oh, this car was just so hard to get. You guys spent so much effort on the car. The car is so precious. And they just have 5 to 10 seconds to decide, okay, we just have to drop it. And that's the kind of moment that really struck me. I think in typical life, in our day-to-day life, it's very hard for you to be in that mode and just say, okay, I know this thing I acquired is important, is hard to get, but the moment things change, I just have to let go. That's just not easy. It's not easy to be as flexible as that. And I think when you encounter those setbacks, encounter those difficulties, one very important thing is just like that. You have to be able to let go. You have to be able to be very, very flexible and just figure it out. I don't know how to describe it better, but just figure it out and be very flexible and just let go. Which I think is very similar to what the Buddhist point of view, like the impermanence part. And another thing I think is to be able to have some order in your life. By order, I mean, let's say recently, every day I wake up, I just go to the gym. That becomes my habit, and that's like a skeleton of my life. It holds my life together, and meditation as well, and just the way that you do things. Also, I mean, I hope that doing vlog will become another important part of my life that holds everything together. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. Mostly, I would say I just want to talk about things. Not that these things are that important. I just want to have some time to speak. And I think I actually recommend this to many people, because I think writing things and doing video, they kind of force you to talk about things in a structured way. And when you have some trouble that's bothering you, or you have some difficulties that you need to overcome, just the fact that you can write about it or talk about it will help you overcome it. Okay, that's enough for today. I'll try to see you guys tomorrow.